And we are joined now by Oklahoma U.S. Senator James Lankford to talk about the big, beautiful bill now that the House has signed off on it, waiting for the president's signature. Your reaction to the big news today that this appears to be moving forward into law?
Yeah, this is moving into law. The president will sign it probably on July the 4th. It includes a lot of things. Why it's called big in the big, beautiful bill. It is basically most of the elements of the Farm Bill that are very important to Oklahoma. Radical change in air traffic control and to be able to modernize that. That's significant to Oklahoma as well. We have the nation's air traffic control center. It'd be a lot of impact on modernization of our military. That's impactful to Tinker that's here. There's also our tax policy, and that's gotten a lot of attention here. It keeps our rates the same. All the tax rates were going to expire next year. Now those tax rates will stay consistent across the board. And then there's some significant things for especially the lower income on the tax rates on it. Things like the working senior adults. This allows them to have a higher tax deduction for the working senior adults. While they're getting Social Security, they don't get taxed on that. No tax on overtime, no tax on tips for service employees. Those are really significant for folks that are working every day. That'll make a big difference for them and their families.
Depending on who you talk to, this is the greatest piece of legislation they've ever seen, or it's the worst. Obviously, you are a supporter. What are a couple of things in this nearly 1,000 pages that you are the most excited about?
Well, I'm very excited about how we're going to handle our tax policy. If you're a small business, it has what's called 100% expensing. Right now, you have to have a big capital expense. You have to deduct it off for several years on that. It's really a pain for the business, and many businesses literally have to borrow money to pay their taxes when they have a big capital expense. This changes this. The year you buy it is the year you can write it off. That may seem simple, but that's really important to a lot of small businesses. We also changed the charitable deduction. It's an area I've worked on for years on it. Most people can't write off their nonprofit donations anymore after the change in law in 2017. Starting now, you'll be able to have a tax deductible donation for everybody. So if you give to your church or if you give to a nonprofit in town, you'll be able to deduct that on your taxes up to $1,000, or for a couple, $2,000 a year. That's a big deal for a lot of people, and hopefully it incentivizes more giving to nonprofits, which really makes a difference in our society.
Talking about nonprofits and organizations, we have interviewed many of them, and to be frank, they are worried, they are concerned. The Regional Food Bank of Oklahoma says they will be down millions of meals to serve to hungry families. So what would be your response to organizations across the state that are worried about this and how it's going to hurt specifically working and lower class Oklahomans?
Yeah, it's been interesting. The Medicaid and the SNAP, what people still call food stamps, those are the areas in social media where there's been the most misinformation out there. On the SNAP, there is no change in the SNAP program. It continues to go up by inflation. There's no cut in SNAP. The difference is the federal taxpayer pays for the SNAP benefits, but every state actually implements it. And some states are efficient at it and some are not efficient at it. Some of them have what's called a very high error rate. They don't check eligibility, they just give it out to anybody. So this bill changes the process for states and says if you don't check eligibility and make sure only eligible people are getting it, we're going to make the state taxpayer have to pay a portion of this. So it incentivizes them to be able to go back to work and to say fix your system as a state. We've got states like Alaska with a 60% error rate, a state like ours with about a 10% error rate, or states like Louisiana with a 6% error rate. We should be able to bring that down, but SNAP continues to be able to grow by inflation from here on out. There is no cut in SNAP. There's a push to make it more efficient. On the Medicaid side, we're requiring a work requirement for able-bodied adults to say if you're able-bodied, you don't have children, and you're getting Medicaid, just like you do on SNAP benefits or other benefits, you have to work as well, at least 20 hours a week. We don't think that's excessive. If they can't work, they could volunteer somewhere 20 hours a week, and that would still cover that. And as far as the provider tax piece, you've heard a lot of people talk about with hospitals, that doesn't actually impact us for 8 years in Oklahoma, and it says the state has to pick up 0.5% more to be able to cover that, and it's 8 years from now. So there's plenty of time for the state to be able to prepare. But the federal government continues to have a rapidly growing debt and deficit. We've got to find ways to be able to find more balance in the Medicaid program that is partially funded by the state, partially funded by the federal government.
I want to ask you, too, about rural hospitals. You touched on this just a little bit. We have a story coming up later today, and we've talked to several across the state who are also concerned about the rural hospital aspect of the One Big Beautiful Bill. What would be your message to Oklahomans who are watching right now who say this directly impacts me?
Yeah, so we added a $50 billion fund for rural hospitals to make sure there wasn't an impact on rural hospitals and they're protected, because that's very important. I've worked a lot on the rural hospital issues for years. It's very important. We also did a delayed implementation implementation on any changes to give more time for our state legislature to be able to make those changes. In the past several years, our state, like a bunch of other states, have found new creative ways to be able to move less cost to the state and more cost to the federal government. This is the federal government pushing back and saying, no, we've made an agreement. You'll cover this part. We'll cover this part. We've both got to keep our part of the deal. And so I'll work with our governor and our state. Our state legislators care very deeply about rural health care as well. It's not like the state legislature is going to go, I don't care about rural health care. They do. And so we're going to find ways to be able to make sure the state is also picking up their full portion and not trying to shift that to the federal government that already has $2 trillion in overspending.
One of the biggest complaints I've seen about the big, beautiful bill, and obviously this is very, very nuanced. And so when I say this, I know that there are many legs to it, but essentially the concern is it helps the rich and it hurts the poor.
Yeah,
they get the biggest tax breaks. We get we're the most disadvantaged. Your response to that?
Yeah, it's absolutely false on it. It's very interesting because I've heard that over and over and again. You'll see it in social media.
The top 1%
Correct.
gets it.
The frustration is tax rates are staying the same. There's a bunch of folks that say, I want billionaires to pay more in tax. This bill says no. Everyone has the same tax rate they're paying now. That's the tax rate they're going to pay next year. And there are folks that said, but I want the billionaire tax piece. I want them their rates to go up. Or we basically said rates are staying the same. What is interesting is the people that will pay less in tax will be those senior adults that are working senior adults, will be people that are service employees, will be folks that work overtime like law enforcement, all those folks that do a lot of overtime. They will pay less in tax. Who pays more in tax? Those billionaires. We don't change the rate, but we reduce the number of deductions that they can take, which means they will literally pay more. But lots of folks just focus in on the percentage, on the rate, not on the deductibility. We limit the deductibility for the top tax brackets and say you can't deduct as much as other people can. We'll raise the amount that they'll have to pay in the top brackets. We just don't change the percentage.
Do you think that they're paying enough?
Oh my gosh, no one will say they're paying too much in taxes right now. I would tell you everyone looks at their tax rates and says, why do I pay this much? Whether you're on the lowest tax bracket or you're on the highest. When you look at the highest tax brackets and you take just that top tax bracket and the one right below it, the 35 and 37% tax bracket, they pay half of the taxes in America.
Okay.
It's a very small group of people, but half of the taxes in America are paid by that group of people. And I know there are folks that say they need to pay even more on it, but they would literally say, we're carrying the country on our back. They pay a lot in taxes, and again, they make a lot. Good for them. That's the American dream, and for many people, if that's their dream and passion to be able to do that, that's fine. But when they're carrying half the tax burden already and they say they got to pay more on it, it's a tough argument to make.
Is there anything in here that you'd like to touch on when it comes to immigration?
Yeah, there is a lot that's in this bill. This bill has farm bill aspects in it. It has immigration, it has modernization of our military, everything else. But the immigration piece is, it actually does the next 4 years of immigration policy that's in it, which a lot of people won't understand. We've had a big fight, no kidding, on this for several years on immigration policy. We've basically taken that fight off the table for the next 4 years, saying we've settled that. Now let's work on the other areas of the budget. But this does additional wall building. It adds additional Border Patrol agents, additional ICE agents, additional detention facilities. Those were all the key aspects on this that has a catch and release. If you arrest someone at the border and there's no place to be able to hold them, then you have to be able to release them in the country. If we add more facilities there, if we arrest them at the border, we can actually process them there. If they qualify for asylum, they then come in the country. If they don't, they're turned around. So that is actually fixed in this bill.